For my daughter's 7th birthday, we walked into cake, balloons, and a huge banner that said, "Congrats, Tyler." My sister had turned it into a party for her son. I didn't make a scene. I just did this. 2 weeks later, my sister was in tears, and my nephew had to change schools. Hi. My name's Danielle and my daughter's name is Hazel. She just turned 7. The story starts with a birthday. Or what should have been one. Hazel had been counting down to her birthday for weeks. Every morning, only 20 days. Only 17. Only 11. My daughter was so excited. You know how kids get when something big is coming. Her energy was electric. She had a whole vision. Glitter cupcakes. Pink and teal balloons. A unicorn piñata. We even sat down together and made a full wish list. Colors, games, decorations, food. I sent it all to my sister Brianna. Because here's the kicker. Brianna insisted on throwing the party. I wasn't sure at first. I offered to do it myself, but she brushed me off. "Danielle, let me handle it," she said. "You always do everything. This is Hazel's special day. I've got it covered." She kept asking for details too. What cake flavor does she want? Is she still into unicorns or more into animals now? Can she eat strawberries? I honestly thought she was trying. Thought she was going to make Hazel feel special. That's what makes what happened so much worse. The day of the party, we all got ready together. Hazel picked out her favorite dress. The one with the little sparkles in the skirt. She did her own hair while my husband helped her fix the bow. She was glowing. Bouncing in place. Do you think Aunt Brianna remembered the glitter balloons? Of course she did, I said. I really thought she had. We drove to Brianna's house. It was packed. Like way more packed than I expected. Cars up and down the street. Kids running around the front yard. All boys. Loud ones. Some in matching baseball shirts. Jake looked at me. Did she say it was this big? No, I said slowly. Then we saw it. A giant banner stretched across the garage door. Congrats, Tyler. Hazel froze. I froze. Jake's jaw tightened. Tyler is Brianna's 10-year-old son. My nephew. And apparently this wasn't just Hazel's birthday party. It was now a celebration for Tyler making his school's baseball team. Mom? Hazel asked. Is this for me? I opened my mouth but nothing came out. We got out of the car. Hazel held my hand tightly, like maybe this was a mistake and someone would fix it once we were inside. They didn't. Everywhere we looked, baseball. Decorations, cake, balloons. Posters with action shots of Tyler playing. Tables labeled team snacks and MVP drinks. Music blasting. Boys running around with gloves and foam fingers. We walked through the chaos like we didn't belong. As we didn't. I found Brianna near the grill, laughing with my parents like everything was completely normal. Brianna, I said, trying to stay calm. What is this? She looked at me totally casual. The party. For Tyler. She rolled her eyes. It's for both. Dual celebration. He made the team. Hazel's turning 7. Why not combine them? You didn't tell me that. I didn't think it was a big deal, she said. Hazel has her section inside. Hazel tugged my hand again. Where do I go? I didn't know what to say. We went inside and found it. Eventually. Tucked in the back corner of the living room was a folding table with 3 sagging teal balloons and a paper tablecloth. 4 cupcakes with rainbow sprinkles sat on a tray. A pack of tiaras lay unopened next to them. That was it. 3 of Hazel's friends were sitting nearby, quiet and awkward. Hazel looked around like she was still trying to figure out if this was real. I knelt down next to her. You okay? She nodded quickly. Yeah. I guess this is it. That moment, watching her try to smile, trying so hard not to show she was hurt, it broke something in me. I stood up, walked back outside, found Brianna again. You hijacked her birthday, I said. With my money. She rolled her eyes again. Oh, come on. She's 7. She doesn't care. She cares. And you know it. My mom chimed in from behind her. Danielle, it's not worth getting upset over. They're kids. Just let them have fun. My dad nodded like he was refereeing a game. It's just a party. It was her party, I said. Not his. Brianna laughed, actually laughed. You're always so dramatic. I stood there stunned. I felt heat behind my eyes. I wanted to scream, flip the cake table, demand an apology, something. But then I looked through the window and saw Hazel sitting with her friends, adjusting a plastic tiara, trying to look happy. I took a breath. I swallowed it. Not for Brianna. Not for my parents. For Hazel. We stayed. For a while. Just long enough to let Hazel have some moments with her friends. Just long enough to not cause a scene she'd never forget. And then it got worse. Tyler stormed in with a group of boys, sweaty from whatever game they were playing outside. He looked at Hazel's table and smirked. "Ah, look at the princess corner," he said. "Is this a tea party or something?" The boys laughed. Then one of them tossed a ball across the room. Too hard. It bounced off the edge of the table and hit Hazel right in the chest. She gasped and dropped her cupcake. Tyler grinned. "Oops. Better luck next time." Jake stood up immediately. "We're done," he said quietly. I nodded. We gathered Hazel and her friends. No goodbyes. No drama. Just walked out the door. No one stopped us. No one apologized. Not even Brianna. In the car, Hazel whispered, "Was I bad?" "No, baby," I said. "You were amazing." "Then why didn't they sing for me?" I didn't answer. That night, after she was asleep, I checked my bank account. Every expense, every balloon, every tray of food, every poster with Tyler's face, was charged to my card. $2,653.07. I stared at it for a long time. Not angry. Not shocked. Just clear. I texted Brianna one word. "Call." As I was done. The day after the party, I dropped Hazel off at school, came home and stared at the fridge for 15 minutes. Not because I was hungry. Because I didn't know what else to do with my body. I just pulled off the gentlest walk out of my life. No drama, no meltdown, no tears. But inside, I was vibrating. I'd seen that number, $2653.07, sitting on my card like a punch to the throat. And I knew. That was it. No more being the quiet one. No more being the understanding sister. No more being the idiot. But if I was going to explain how we got here, you'd need to understand something. This wasn't new. It wasn't sudden. It was just the worst version of a pattern that's been going on for years. Brianna has always been like this. Growing up, she knew how to charm everyone in the room. Parents, teachers, random neighbors. She cried pretty. She apologized big. She had a way of making her drama feel urgent, like the world might collapse if she didn't get her way. Me. I was the opposite. Quiet. Soft-spoken. Always afraid of upsetting people. We grew up, but the roles stayed the same. She had Tyler at 23. I had Hazel 3 years later. From the beginning, it was obvious she saw parenting as a performance. Tyler had themed birthday parties before he could walk. Custom onesies. Baby yoga. That kind of mom. And every time things got tight financially, she called me. "I'll pay you back next week. Just cover it and I'll send it back on Friday. It's just for Tyler's gymnastics registration. Oh, and can you Venmo me for the birthday deposit?" I didn't even realize how much I was sending her until I checked one year during tax season and saw the transfer history. Thousands. Spa days, gift cards, online orders. I paid her rent once. He said she was between jobs. That month she posted pictures from a decompression retreat. Jake warned me. A few times. But I'd always say, "She's family. What am I supposed to do? Let Tyler miss out on everything?" Now I knew the answer. Yes, I was. Because Tyler didn't get onto the school's baseball team on his own. He got in because Jake, my husband, spent 3 months coaching him for free. After work. On weekends. In the rain. He works as a PE teacher at his school and is one of the coaches for their baseball team. He didn't want to be unfair to the other kids, so he told Brianna, if he can work for it, he'll earn it. But I won't cheat the process. Brianna pouted. Said something about supporting family. But Jake stuck to it. And Tyler showed up. I'll give him that, he tried. And slowly he got better. Good enough to make the cut. And then what did Brianna do? Threw a party. A huge one. With my money. For my daughter's birthday. I sat at the table and thought about every time I'd let something slide. Every time Brianna did something, I let it slide. But this time it wasn't about me. It was about Hazel. I felt like she needed more than quiet love. She needed someone who would fight for her. So I called Brianna. She picked up on the second ring. "Hey. Crazy party, right? Tyler had such a good time." Hazel seemed a little quiet, though. Everything okay? You spent over $2,600 on that party, I said. And you used my card for all of it. A beat. Oh come on, she said. It wasn't all for Tyler. You didn't even put her name on the cake. She had cupcakes. She sat in a corner like a guest at her own birthday. Brianna sighed. Danielle, don't be so sensitive. She's 7. She won't even remember. Besides, you said I could use your card for the party. For her party, I snapped. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. I want the money back, I said. She laughed. Seriously? You're going to come after me for a few $1,000s? After everything I've done for you? What have you done for me, Brianna? More silence. Then, whatever. I don't have it. Then I'll be filing a police report. You're kidding. I wasn't. And I did. I walked into the station, handed them my bank statements, the texts, the invitation, the photos, and filed a report for unauthorized charges. 2 days later, Brianna called me screaming. You called the cops on me? No. I filed a report. Big difference. I could get arrested. Then maybe don't commit credit card fraud next time. She paid me back within a week. Every cent. With the world's most sarcastic note. Happy now? She also posted something on Facebook like, some people would rather burn the bridge than admit they're wrong. Guess I'll swim. I didn't reply. But I did start swimming too. Away. First thing I did? Told Jake to stop Tyler's private lessons. Jake didn't hesitate. Consider it done. Second thing? I opened my bank app and canceled everything I was still covering for Brianna and Tyler. His tutoring app. His summer baseball camp deposit. Her makeup subscription. A wellness meal plan she signed up for with my card. All gone. She noticed. Immediately. The text came in hot. Why would you cancel Tyler's tutoring? You said you'd help with the camp. You're punishing him for my mistake. And finally. You've changed. No, Brianna. I've stopped changing for you. Jake and I didn't even discuss it. Just happened. He stepped away as Tyler's unofficial coach. I stepped away as Brianna's bank account. Hazel started smiling again. Fully. Carefully. So we threw her a real birthday party. Just us, a few close friends, homemade decorations, and a bounce house we rented for 2 hours. She picked the playlist herself. And this time she got her own cake. With her name on it. In glitter. Brianna wasn't invited. But she still found out. Sent me a text. So now you're excluding us? Real mature. Followed by. Tyler's really upset. This whole thing has affected him so much. Yeah. Hazel cried herself to sleep on her birthday. I didn't reply. But I could feel something shifting. Tyler had always walked around like he owned the world. But now, without Jake's help, without my support, and with Brianna running out of people to blame, the cracks were starting to show. Something told me this wasn't the end of it. Not even close. It started with a whisper. Not a literal one. More like the kind of quiet shift that makes the air feel wrong before anything actually happens. Hazel began dragging her feet in the mornings. Her sparkly hairbands stayed in the drawer. She started picking plain t-shirts and pulling her sleeves over her hands like she didn't want to be noticed. I asked if anything had happened. She said no. Just that she didn't feel like talking today. But then came the lunchbox. I packed her favorite, mini bagels with strawberry cream cheese, cucumber slices shaped like stars. She came home with it untouched. I forgot to eat, she said. 2 days later I saw it again. Untouched. I asked her again. She hesitated. Tyler said my food looked gross. That was the first crack in the wall. I told Jake that night. We started watching more closely. Asking questions in small ways. Who'd you play with today? Did anything funny happen at recess? Anyone say anything silly or weird? Sometimes she answered. Sometimes she changed the subject. Once she said, Tyler called my shoes baby shoes. I asked what she said back. Nothing, she said. I just walked away. We started documenting. Not because we wanted drama, but because we'd learned. From the party. From the aftermath. From Brianna. You document when the people in charge won't protect your kid unless you have receipts. Tyler's comments got worse. His jokes louder. When Hazel dropped her pencil during group work, he said, Careful. Wouldn't want to break a nail, princess. He told us that one on the ride home. Tried to laugh when she said it. Jake didn't laugh. We emailed her teacher. Told her what was happening. Asked if anything had been noticed. The teacher responded quickly, professionally, and with just enough discomfort in the language to tell us this wasn't the first time she'd had a Tyler problem. "I'll keep an eye out," she said. "And speak with him if needed." The next day Hazel came home with dirt on her leggings. "I tripped," she said. I said nothing. Just wrote it down in the little folder we kept by the coffee maker. 3 days later we got a call from the school counselor. She'd been brought in after Hazel appeared withdrawn and hesitant to participate. She didn't mention Tyler by name, but she hinted. A lot. We knew what was happening. Then Brianna found out Tyler had been talked to. I don't know who told her. Could have been Tyler, could have been a parent she knew, could have been her secret psychic hotline. She always had a way of sniffing out consequences just in time to flip the story. She showed up at the school office without an appointment. Demanded a meeting with the principal. Told them Tyler was being targeted by Hazel and Jake. Said her son was being emotionally attacked because of personal family tension. That Hazel was manipulating staff, and that Jake had set Tyler up to fail. And just like that she filed a formal complaint. Against my husband. When the school called to let us know, I thought they were joking. "We just want to be transparent," the principal said. "The complaint is being reviewed, but we wanted you to hear it from us." Jake took it better than I did. He sat still, nodded slowly and said, "Okay. I'll submit everything." And he did. Every email. Every text. Every practice schedule. Every training note from when he'd worked with Tyler. Dates, times, screenshots. We weren't leaving anything open to interpretation. Meanwhile, Brianna went on a campaign tour. She told other parents Jake was biased. Told family members that Hazel had a mean streak. Told anyone who'd listen that Tyler was being punished for being too good. Tyler, meanwhile, was unraveling. Without Jake's coaching, he wasn't keeping up. His attitude at practice tanked. He mouthed off to a teammate. Tossed a bat when he struck out during a scrimmage. The head coach benched him until he got his behavior under control. That's when Brianna lost it again. I got a voicemail that started with, "You people are unbelievable," and ended with a barely coherent rant about sabotage, jealousy, and how we were trying to destroy a child's confidence. I didn't answer. But that night Hazel finally cracked. She came home from school, dropped her bag, walked straight to her room and shut the door. I gave her space at first. Then I went in. She was sitting on the edge of her bed, holding her sparkly tiara. The one from the fake party. She wasn't crying. She was just staring at it like she didn't recognize it anymore. I sat beside her. She whispered, "Why does he hate me so much?" I didn't answer right away. Then she asked, "Is it because I got a second party?" "No," I said. "It's not about that. It's not about you." She looked up at me, eyes glassy. "I don't want to go to school anymore." And that was it. That was the line. You can call me dramatic, overprotective, whatever you want. But the moment your 7-year-old tells you they're scared to walk into a classroom, you move. The next morning I emailed the principal. Copied the counselor. Attached our folder. Dates, notes, conversations. Asked for a meeting. Not a phone call. Not a chat. A meeting. Jake called the district athletic director. Told him about the complaint. Sent over everything he'd compiled. And then we walked into that school like we weren't asking for permission anymore. "We're not here to escalate," I said. "We're here to make sure our daughter is protected. And if you can't do that, we'll take it higher." The principal nodded. Took notes. Promised a full review. But I could see it in his eyes. He already knew. He knew. Something was coming. Something big. And I wasn't going to blink first. The school promised to investigate. To be honest, I didn't expect much. I'd heard that line before, when Hazel first came home with dirt on her leggings. When Tyler's teasing wasn't that serious. When Brianna showed up at the school and told them her 10-year-old was the victim of a vendetta orchestrated by a 7-year-old and her coach dad. But this time something was different. The day after our meeting I got an email. Then another. Then 3 more. Parents. They'd heard about the complaint Brianna filed, how she claimed Tyler was being bullied and blackballed by the school, and they wanted to say something. One mom wrote, "I didn't know what to do until now. Tyler pushed my son in the lunch line last month. It wasn't the first time." Another said, "He calls my daughter names during PE. She hasn't wanted to go for weeks. A third included a screenshot of a group chat where Tyler wrote, "Hazel's such a crybaby. I bet her mom tattles for her." So no, this wasn't new. It was just the first time someone had called it what it was. The school's tone shifted fast. The principal sent an official notice. The investigation into Brianna's complaint was complete. Jake had done nothing wrong. No coaching bias. No misconduct. No retaliation. They appreciated his cooperation. The subtext was clear. "Sorry we ever doubted you." But Tyler? That was another story. The school had documentation now. Witnesses. Multiple reports. Records of disruptive behavior, bullying, and disrespect during class and on the field. They called Brianna in. This time it wasn't a discussion. It was a disciplinary review. And Brianna, true to form, showed up with fire in her veins. She accused the school of character assassination. Said Hazel had manipulated the staff. Claimed the teachers were all in on it. She even had the audacity to say Jake deliberately sabotaged Tyler's sports future to get revenge for a birthday party. The principal, God bless him, sat there like a stone. He didn't argue. Didn't raise his voice. Just waited for her to run out of steam, then slid the folder across the table. Pages of complaints. Printed messages. Incident reports. Brianna went quiet. For maybe 5 whole seconds. Then she said, "This is a conspiracy." The school didn't suspend Tyler that day. They expelled him. They called it involuntary transfer due to escalating behavioral issues. Which is a very professional way of saying, "You're not welcome here anymore." Brianna lost it. She screamed in the office. Refused to leave. Said she'd take them to court. Said we'd destroyed her son's life. Said Hazel was a manipulative little brat. Jake and I weren't even there. We heard all of this from the office secretary who called us later and said, "We're so sorry. This isn't what we wanted." But honestly, it was what we wanted. Not the chaos. Not the yelling. Not the spectacle. Just accountability. For once. Tyler had to switch schools. Not far, just the next district over, but far enough that he wouldn't be riding the same bus. Far enough that Hazel could exhale again in the morning. And Brianna? Well, without our financial help, things started falling apart. We'd already canceled the tutoring, the sports camp, the streaming subscriptions she never paid for. But now she had to cancel the new uniform order for Tyler's travel team. She had to pull him from his art class. And the spa trips? Gone. She started picking up extra shifts at her part-time job. She told people it was by choice. But then her car broke down. Then her rent got raised. And then she messaged me. "We're going through a tough time. Can you help with just this month? I'll pay you back." I stared at the message for a while. Then I deleted it. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Hazel started dancing again. Not literally, but in that way where her body moved through the house like she had music playing in her head. She sang while brushing her teeth. She asked if she could wear her sparkly dress on a Tuesday, just because. One night she sat on the couch and asked, "Is Tyler going to be mean to other kids now?" Jake and I looked at each other. "I don't know," I said. "But I know he won't be mean to you anymore." She nodded. "Good." I stopped apologizing for protecting my kid. I stopped explaining myself to people who never once tried to understand me. I stopped being Brianna's backup plan. People always say family is everything. But I've learned that boundaries are everything. And if someone burns down the bridge when you say no, let them swim. I'm done rescuing people who don't even bring a life jacket. Part of me still wonders, did I do the right thing? Calling the police. Cutting them off. Standing my ground until Tyler was expelled. I didn't want it to end this way, but I couldn't keep letting them hurt my daughter. What do you think? Did I go too far? Or was it finally time someone stood up to them? Let me know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more stories.